Hello everyone, welcome to the Nick Weber Wealth YouTube channel. College can open doors to your future, but for too many Americans it also opens the door to decades of debt. With college costs skyrocketing, in 2025 the average full cost of attendance is around $30,000 per year at a public in-state university and $63,000 at a private college. It's no wonder why U.S. student loan now stands at roughly $1.77 trillion. That total has more than tripled since 2007, and the average borrower in 2025 graduates owing about $38,000 in debt, nearly double what graduates owed in 2008. These statistics are daunting, but your story doesn't have to follow that script. With smart planning and informed choices, you can minimize or even eliminate college debt. In this video, we'll break down the top 5 strategies to help students and parents pay for college without drowning in loans. Let's dive in. Our first strategy is all about early planning. Save early, save often. Financial planners universally stress the importance of starting a college fund as soon as possible, even when your child is a baby or in grade school. Why? Because time and compound interest are your best friends. Money invested in a dedicated college account can grow substantially over 18 years, helping you tackle tuition when the time comes. One of the most popular tools here is a 529 college savings plan. These are tax-advantaged accounts specifically for education. Your contributions grow tax-deferred, and withdrawals are tax-free for qualified education expenses. Many states even offer tax deductions or credits for contributing to a 529 plan, giving you an extra incentive to save. Financial planners favor 529s because they keep the money earmarked for education and maximize its growth potential. Even if you can't save much, every dollar you save now is a dollar you or your child won't have to borrow later. Consider setting up automatic monthly contributions to a college fund. Treat it like a future tuition bill you pay to yourself. And remember, it's never too early or too late to start. If your student is nearing college and you haven't saved much yet, don't panic. Start now with what you can. Every bit helps. The key takeaway: early savings and investment can dramatically reduce the need for loans when college starts. 2. Maximize free money, need-based aid, grants, and scholarships. Free money for college? It sounds too good to be true, but it's very real and you should grab as much of it as possible. Financial planners urge families to maximize grants and scholarships before considering any loans. This means both need-based financial aid like federal or state grants and merit-based scholarships. Need-based aid usually comes in the form of grants, such as the federal Pell Grant or state grants, and tuition discounts from colleges based on your family's financial situation. To access these, the crucial step is filing the FAFSA, free application for federal student aid. Every family should file the FAFSA regardless of income. Why? Well, first, you might qualify for more aid than you expect, and second, failing to file is leaving money on the table. In fact, the high school class of 2022 left about $3.6 billion in Pell Grant funds unclaimed simply because many students never completed the FAFSA. Don't let that happen to you. By filling out the FAFSA and the CSS profile for certain colleges, you open the door to federal grants, state aid, work-study offers, and even some merit aid that requires a FAFSA on file. Even higher income families should do it. Some schools award merit scholarships only to students who have a FAFSA submitted. Bottom line, apply for aid every year. It's a no-lose proposition. Next, scholarships are the other major form of free money. These can be merit-based, awarded for academic achievement, athletics, arts, leadership, community services, etc., or based on other criteria like your background, field of study, or even quirky things. Left-handed? There's a scholarship for that. The scholarship universe is huge. There are thousands of private scholarships offered by companies, nonprofits, foundations, and local community groups. Plus, many colleges themselves offer substantial merit scholarships to attract strong students. It takes effort to search and apply, but it can pay off big time. Many families know the value of scholarships. In a recent study, 73% of U.S. families reported relying on scholarships and grants to help cover college costs. The great thing is, scholarships don't have to be repaid. Every $5,000 scholarship you win is $5,000 less in debt or out-of-pocket costs. Tips: start researching scholarships early. junior year of high school, or even earlier for certain awards. Cast a wide net. Apply for large national scholarships and small local ones. Smaller awards may have less competition and they add up. Keep track of deadlines and tailor your applications, essays, recommendation letters to each opportunity. Treat the scholarship hunt like a part-time job during senior year. A few hours a week can yield thousands of dollars. Merit scholarships from colleges are also huge. If your academic or extracurricular profile is strong, consider colleges where you'd be a top student. They often reward that with tuition discounts. For example, high school achieving students frequently earn academic merit scholarships that can cover anywhere from a few $1,000s up to the full tuition at some schools. Know the offerings at the colleges you apply to, and don't be afraid to ask the financial aid office about available scholarships. The key is to be proactive. Free money will not come find you. You have to find it, but it's well worth the effort. 3. Use tax credits and smart financial strategies. This strategy is a bit more behind the scenes, but it can significantly lighten the financial load. The government provides tax credits and deductions to ease the cost of college, essentially putting money back in your pocket. The American Opportunity Act, AOTC, for example, is a big one. It's worth up to $2,500 per year per student for undergraduate study, which could total $10,000 in tax savings over 4 years. If you qualify, income restrictions apply, this credit directly reduces your tax bill based on what you pay for tuition, fees, and course materials. Another benefit, if you have student loans later, the student loan interest deduction allows you to deduct up to $2,500 of interest paid per year from your taxable income. It's not a reason to take loans you don't need, but if you do have loans, at least the tax code gives you a small break on the interest. Together, these tax provisions recognize the burden of education costs and give families some relief. Beyond tax credits, there are other financial planning moves that can save money. For instance, if you have family members who want to help with college costs, like a grandparent, work with them to do it in the most tax-efficient way. Contributions to the student's 529 plan or paying tuition bills directly to the college, which can avoid gift tax. Some families might benefit from prepaid tuition plans or setting up trust UGMA accounts. These can be complex, so consult a financial advisor for your situation. If the student has any income from a part-time job, for example, consider using some of it to contribute to a Roth IRA for them once they turn 18. The Secure Act now even allows up to $35,000 of unused 529 funds to roll into a Roth IRA for the beneficiary in the future. While these are all advanced strategies, the main point is plan holistically. A good college funding plan looks at your savings, cash flow, tax breaks, long-term finances all together. One more tip, keep college savings separate from retirement savings. Parents, you might be tempted to dip into your 401k or IRA to pay for college, but financial planners generally advise against this. There are loans for college, there are no loans for retirement. Instead, focus on the strategies we're discussing, and if borrowing is needed, we'll talk about smart borrowing in a moment. By using the available tax credits and strategic financial planning, you can trim the effective cost of college and avoid unnecessary debt. 4. Work during college, work study, and part-time jobs. Another cornerstone strategy is earning income while in school. It might sound tough to juggle work and studies, but the reality is most college students today do work while enrolled. In fact, about 64% of college students have some form of job, and 40% of students even work full-time while in college. Working even a modest number of hours can make a big difference in offsetting expenses like books, meals, or transportation costs that might otherwise go on a credit card or add to your loans. One great option to explore is federal work study, a program offered at many colleges. Work study jobs are typically on campus or with approved off-campus employers like nonprofits or community service positions. They are designed to accommodate your class schedule and often relate to your field of study. About 20% of U.S. students take advantage of work study positions and earn roughly $1,800 per year on average through this program. That might cover, say, your textbooks and personal expenses for the year, which means you don't have to borrow that $1,800. Work study funds are essentially earned financial aid. The money comes from a federal grant to your school, and it's paid via paychecks that you can use for day-to-day needs. Importantly, to get work study, you must file the FAFSA and have financial need. The funds can be limited, so apply early. The FAFSA opens in October of each year. If you're awarded work study, it's a great idea to use it. Not only do you earn money, but you also gain work experience time management skills, and connections on campus. If you don't qualify for work study or need to earn more, consider part-time jobs or side gigs. This could be an on-campus job like library assistant, tutoring, residence hall, front desk, or off-campus in the local community. Even 10 to 15 hours of work per week can provide spending money or help with tuition installments. For example, a job that pays $12 an hour for 12 hours a week gives you about $144 per week. Over a 30-week academic year, that's around $4,300 earned. Every dollar you earn is one you don't have to borrow or one your parents don't have to cover. Many students also work full-time during summers and save that income for the school year. Important, be mindful of balance. Studies come first, and research shows working more than 20 hours a week can impact academic performance, so try to find a manageable schedule. Perhaps a lighter workload during midterm, finals, but don't shy away from working entirely. It is doable to excel in classes and hold a part-time job, as millions of students prove every year. In addition to the financial benefit, working in college builds your resume and can provide references for jobs after graduation. To sum up the strategy, earn as you learn. By dedicating some hours each week to work, especially through work study or a flexible part-time job, you can chip away at college costs in real time, so you borrow less or nothing at all. It instills responsibility and can make you value your education even more, since you're literally investing your own labor into it. 5. Choose cost-effective education options and borrow wisely if needed. Our last strategy is about being strategic in your college decisions to avoid unnecessary debt. In other words, don't buy a Ferrari if what you need is a reliable sedan. A college education is an investment, and like any investment, you want a good return for a reasonable cost. You should consider the most cost-effective path to reach a student's goals. What does that mean in practice? Well, first, consider the college itself. There's a huge range in college prices. Public universities generally have a lower tuition, especially in-state public schools, which receive state subsidies. For example, average tuition and fees at a public four-year college for in-state students is about $11,600 per year, whereas out-of-state students pay around $31,000 per year for the same public college. Private universities often charge even more, averaging $43,000 per year just in tuition and fees, and total costs around $62,000 with living expenses. That doesn't mean you shouldn't consider a private or out-of-state school, but you should weigh the costs and the financial aid offers carefully. Sometimes a pricey private college may give a huge scholarship that makes it cheaper than the public option. So compare net prices, not just sticker prices. However, if a particular dream school expects you to take on $50,000 to $100,000 in debt, and a comparable state university would have little or no debt, it's worth rethinking. Choosing a school that fits your budget, or where you're a top applicant who earns aid, is one of the most powerful ways to avoid excessive debt. Second, think about starting at a community college or commuting to school. Community colleges offer the first 2 years of general education at a fraction of the cost. On average, community college tuition is only around $4,000 per year, in some states even lower. For instance, in California it's about $1,500 for the year at a 2-year public college. Many states have articulation agreements where you can transfer from a 2-year college to a 4-year university seamlessly as a junior. By doing this 2+2 approach, families can save tens of thousands of dollars, and if you live at home or commute locally for those 2 years, you save on housing costs as well. In fact, a commuting student at a public community college spends on average about $20,000 per year total versus $49,000 at an out-of-state residential university. That's a huge difference. The key is ensuring the credits transfer and keeping grades up, but many students successfully follow this path and graduate with the same bachelor's degree as those who started at the 4-year, but with far less debt. Another cost-saving tactic is accelerating your studies if possible. Take advanced placement, AP, or dual enrollment classes in high school for college credit. Entering college with even a semester's worth of credits can allow you to graduate early or take lighter course loads, which could free up time to work more. Graduating in 3 or 3.5 years instead of 4 translates to significant savings. Even within college, stay on track to graduate on time. An extra year in school means not just extra tuition, but also a year of lost income you could have earned after graduating. So plan your course schedule carefully and use summer classes if needed to catch up or get ahead. Finally, if despite all these strategies you still need to borrow smart. No one loves student loans, but they can be a tool if used sparingly and wisely. This means limit how much you borrow to what's truly necessary and prefer federal student loans, which have lower fixed interest rates and more flexible repayment options, over private loans. A common guideline is that your total undergraduate loan should not exceed what you expect to earn as a starting annual salary in your field. For example, if new grads in your intended career start at around $50,000 a year, try to keep total loans below $50,000, preferably much less. This helps ensure you can manage repayment. Also, parents should be cautious with Parent Plus loans. These can be even more dangerous debt if taken in large amounts. The goal of all the prior strategies, savings, aid, work, affordable school choices, is to minimize how much, if anything, you need to borrow. But if you do borrow, go in with a plan. Know the interest rate, use a loan calculator to project monthly payments, and think about how you'll pay it back. Example, through the expected salary or aggressive payments to finish loans early. Never borrow by default or out of panic. Always ask, is there another way to cover this cost? If you do follow the first 4 strategies, you'll likely find that loans can be kept to a minimum or avoided altogether, and graduating with little or no debt will give you a huge head start financially as you launch your career. Achieving a college degree without crippling debt is an ambitious goal, but it's absolutely possible with the right approach. We've discussed how starting to save early, maximizing free money, grants and scholarships, leveraging tax benefits and smart planning, working during school, and choosing cost-effective educational paths can each chip away at the price of college. When you combine these strategies, the impact is powerful. You can drastically cut down what you pay out of pocket and what you might need to borrow. Imagine walking across the graduation stage knowing you have a world of opportunities ahead without a heavy debt burden on your shoulders. That freedom is priceless. The key is to plan ahead and be proactive. If you're a parent of a young child, start planning now. If you're a high school student or already in college, it's not too late. You can still apply for scholarships each year, work part-time, and make frugal choices. Every effort counts. Take control of your college financing like it's a project. Make a plan. Use all the resources at your disposal and stay determined. You'll thank yourself later when you're starting life after college on solid financial footing. We hope these tips have motivated and informed you on your journey to a debt-free college experience. You have the power to make smart choices now that your future self will appreciate. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'm here to guide you with more insights on education, finances, and success strategies. Join my community by subscribing, and let's work together to tackle college costs and beyond. Remember, an investment in education is an investment in yourself, and with these strategies, you can make the investment without mortgaging your future. Thanks for watching, and until next time, plan smart and take care.